Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel, What the Beck. This is a very unusual video. It's not a secret that I take commissions for art projects sometimes. Usually they're crochet projects. But in January of this year, I posted, I think it was just like a coordinate with my pastel Valentine JSK that I made in Closet of Frills, and then this lovely person named Clover decided to put her faith in me and asked me to make a one-of-a-kind piece with like sewing. And the only sewing commissions I usually take on are fursuits, which is an entirely different interest than Lolita, and the techniques are way different too. So I decided to take on the challenge, and I just put it sideways so you could get the whole thing in the frame and see what it looks like, but I'll get some better shots of it later. But yeah, basically it took, the first DM we have is in January on like the 26th or something like that, so the end of January, which makes sense because I posted the Valentine JSK way before Valentine's. And then, so the official day that I finished these was August 16th. And you might be wondering, wow, did it really take you 6 whole months to make that? And I also am thinking that. But basically, we all know what happened this year. We had a once in several lifetimes incident of the pandemic. But yeah, I'll get into that in a second. So Clover, I think I discovered that she had a YouTube channel in a Ruffle chat thread that was like, tell me about your favorite Lolita YouTubers. And I started watching her videos after she already like initiated the commission with me. And they're really cool. Like, I love watching Clover's channel because it's kind of chill, and she's also hilarious. Like, some of the videos that you think they wouldn't be super interesting, like an unboxing, is really only interesting to me if I am interested in the exact item being unboxed. She makes them funny with the editing. so yeah, I definitely recommend go check out her channel. It's linked below. I hope my cat doesn't step on this. She's on the bed now. But yeah, so yeah, as I said before, we had some complications getting this done. So let me just, don't touch this, let go. Let me just turn it around so you can see. We had some complications. Originally, the design did not look like this at all. It originally had, it was like a gray and black color scheme with a little bit of gold. But then once I finally figured out how much of each fabric we would need, they were all out of stock, and some of them had even been discontinued, so we didn't have the option to like wait it out until they came back. So we had to go with a different plan, and Clover was really flexible with that, and I'm very grateful that she was willing to rework the design. And yes, this whole design was created by her. She designed the whole thing. Some things were changed from the original sketch that we had, which I'll put on screen now. So this is the original sketch, but the new sketch looks like this. And Clover did all the photo editing, which was very helpful for me to be able to see where things would go and how many pieces of each fabric we would need. But yeah, so she designed the whole thing, and I was just the factory monkey putting it together. And oh my gosh, this was so, I don't want to say stressful, but I was very nervous while making it because I wanted it to come out really good, because I know these are like really nice quality materials and the design was so beautiful. I didn't want to like not do it justice. But yeah, I think that was it. The pandemic delayed stuff anyway, like the shipping for these buttons. These got here, I think, last out of all the supplies, and it took them like 3 weeks. But yeah, the theme for these, if you can see on the tool, it's kind of bunched up, but there are Pegasus horses all over with this shiny metallic plus stars and this other star fabric, which I really like. And then there's the black fabric with the little gold diamonds on it. So the theme, I asked her like what her vision was for it, and she just said space dandy, which I think is hilarious. But yeah, that's the theme. It's also astrology Ouji is what she said. I think that sounds way more like regal, but you know, whatever. And then let's see. So in order to actually make this, which is like the final piece, let me just put this up here. I had to do a whole lot of planning, and I want to show that just because, like, even as a maker or someone who's commissioning clothing, it's very important to recognize the trial and error of the process. So this is my planning. This first part is just, I inherited this sketchbook from someone else, so that's not what I wrote. But as you can see, I planned out the order of all the fabrics. Let me bring this closer. The measurements, how much fabric I would need per stripe, label it with which one each of them are, and then put like the elastic and all that. How long does the elastic have to be to fit the measurements? And then I had like a cutting guide down here, and as you can see, as I got them all planned out, as soon as we knew how much fabric we needed, we had to switch fabric, so they're all relabeled with their new assignment. And then, so since this was like a made to order, like made to fit piece, there was a lot of, I don't know if I would call it troubleshooting, but basically I just had to make little notes for myself, like the leg ruffles need to be twice as long as the final ruffle, and then like how I plan to attach it, so like tuck it into the leg seam. That didn't actually end up happening, but you know, it's attached. And then originally there was this piece right here that would wrap around the waist, and it wouldn't be like, there would be like buttons for a fake closure, but it was going to be fully shirred in the back. But this part stressed me out so much because it was just a weird shape, and I'd never done like a wraparound waist like that before, but we ended up scrapping that for the final design, so I didn't have to deal with that. And yeah, just working out the logistics of how much the elastic has to stretch to at which point of the waist panel. And yeah, her measurements are on here. I don't necessarily want to show that just because I know that can be like personal or dysmorphic information, but yeah, so that's how I planned for it, with all these pages, and I had to take into account that stuff would be ruffled or put elastic in it. So actually, these shorts here, you can't see them right now, I had to make a mock-up, and the mock-up looks pretty unappealing simply because it is a mock-up. So it takes up literally the whole screen. Let me take this out of here. So yeah, it's basically big shorts, and you make them like twice as big as you want the final product to be, because then you put in elastic that fits into these casings. There's still some in here. I think I took some of it out to make masks or something. But yeah, so this is, I actually did this, I believe, in like February or March, but then my sewing machine decided that it didn't like the other materials that I was going to use, so I had to wait until, what was it, like July, and I did a lot of the like piece cutting and some more planning since the plan had changed in July as well, but I had to wait until I went to my parents' house. So like whenever I felt safe enough to go to my parents' house is when I first actually started sewing the final piece. And her machine, my mom's machine, didn't care. It worked fine. And her serger actually broke, not because of this, but it was broken before we got there. And I was like, well, we have these seams that are clearly visible, because there are ways to do seams with raw edges that it won't fray because it's on like the inside of the fabric. Let me see if I can find one, because I know I did one beforehand. See, like here, there's a seam here, but the raw edges are stuck inside because it's like a French seam, I believe it's called. I can't do that on tulle because the tulle, it's too like slippery. It won't stay where you put it. So I really needed to use a serger, and my mom actually bought a new serger and loaned it to me so I could use it to finish this, which was very nice of her. And yeah, so then let's see, what else do I have to talk about? The final piece, it's a little bit different from the concept art, as I said. We used like exactly, I don't know if you can see this too well, but there is black lace here that looks the same as this white lace on top, and we used exactly the amount that Clover gave me. So like, I feel like way back in like February or something, she sent me a package in the mail that had some of the materials she wanted me to use because they were just what she thought would look good on it. I used all of this black lace and all of this gold and black trim because they're like, I don't know what happened, but the only lace we had extra of was this one. And I know that these kind of projects eat up lace because I've made a whole dress before and that used more lace than this one. But I'm just very grateful that we had exactly enough of these laces that it went on there. But yeah, so the features, like the kind of thing that would be listed on a website, I guess, if you bought this. The features are fake corset lacing at the front in 2 spots. So I left these long because I don't know how short she wants them. So she can even sew them together and shut if she wants, but I didn't know how long she preferred the ties, so I just left them as long as they were when I put them in there. And these are fake buttons at the front, but they're really cool and shiny. And then the back is fully shirred, and it's, whoops, it's shirred at different increments. So like this bottom part that would go across like your hips is a little bit wider than this one that goes at your waist. And then this one that goes, well, I guess this one is in between your waist and hips, and this one is at your waist. And then the lace along the top also stretches out to become flat. And then these are, like I said, elasticated, so you don't have to like fit into them because they will fit to you. And then there's a ruffle at the bottom. And yeah, I'm gonna have to like text Clover and say, can you get the pretty like romantic type shots of it, because I just don't have a filming setup for that right now. But yeah, and then another thing that I was really excited about as an artist, I watched this video about clothing labels and tags, and it reminded me that I actually had some, but they had my old name on them, so I just censored it with puffy paint. So now that's in there, and I don't know, I feel like a professional now. Like, I've been making things on commission for a while, but this one I'm actually really proud of how it came out. Not that I'm not usually proud of it, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I will have to text Clover and tell her to get the nice fancy shots and the wearing shot, because this doesn't fit me, so I can't get like a walk around spinny type shot. But yeah, I don't think I'll be taking on another commission for something like this because of how difficult it was for me. Like, I can make dresses fine. If someone asked me for a dress, I might consider taking it on as a commission. But this was just a whole lot of new things at once that I'm not, like, I'm grateful that I got the chance to, like, try it out, but it's not something I really want to do again. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If you like this video, can you give it a thumbs up? Because you know how to use YouTube, but it's not a problem if I remind you. And then go check out Clover's channel for her video. I'm going to see if we can post this on the same day. And then tell me in the comments which you prefer. Do you prefer Ouji style or Lolita style, which is the kind of dresses that I made way back in like December, January. And then subscribe if you want to see more. I'm not sure if I said that already. Go subscribe to Clover. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.